Yeah. Hit records on my demo.
One thing I can't stand is coaches who believe that everybody needs to look the same.
Right now, let's take a look. If I put a very short tibia on this person, you're going to notice that their ability to squat down starts to look like he's leaning really far forward.
So what Tom's talking about here is different body types, and this representing a person with a short tibia and a long femur.
This bar right here represents the center of mass. Let's just say you have a bar on your back and I'm filming you from the side. You want the bar to travel along this line as close or straight as possible, because that's where your body will be the strongest, okay? Down the midline of the foot. This person leans forward naturally because that's what has to take place to move along this center line and get that ass below or at parallel. Now here's Connie. Check out Connie. This is our team mom. You guys know Connie. Now look at the distance of her femur from her knee all the way up there. All the way up there. About right here. And then she has a really short torso, okay? Decently sized floor to knee, but I mean, there's her knee right there to floor, so shorter than the other ladies, but I mean, from knee all the way up is a lot longer than everybody else. Now let's watch her squat. She just graduated off the box. Her bar's pretty decent over the midline, but now look at her body. She has this angle here. You remember that on the diagram that we just saw? Her angle is much more forward than most people would look, and that's just because she's made up differently, all right? Like I said, she still has some mobility things that we need to continue to work on cleaning up. Her biggest issue is probably shoulders and ankles, but at the same time, that's not going to change how the angle of her body as she squats. All right, she's got a lot more forward lean. It's just going to be a lot harder for her to squat than somebody who's built differently. Does that mean she can never squat? Hell no. It's just going to be a challenge to get there. And
so our plan of attack for Connie is, number one, of course, work all the mobility and imbalance issues that we need to. Number two, teach her how to low bar squat. Number three, widen her stance. Those are little things that we need that will really help Connie accomplish a great squat, because naturally she's a strong lifter.
Knee flexion, they have more than that. If you check their hip flexion, they have more than this. But their proportions do not allow them to go any.
so like you can check somebody's, so what he says after this is that you can check somebody's mobility, like, oh, they got good hip mobility, oh, they got good ankle mobility, they got good, flexion at the knee, so they should be able to perform a perfect squat. When in reality, their body just ain't made to look like everybody else in the bottom of a squat position.
Otherwise, if by contrast you had someone with proportionally shorter femur, proportionally longer floor to knee, and proportionally longer torso in terms of where they can put the weight, this person can fold up, sit all the way down, and they have no idea why anybody thinks squatting is difficult.
Now look at this. This looks like a perfect squat in most people's eyes, right? This person has a longer tibia, shorter femur, and a longer torso. So these people are built to have a much easier time squatting. These are those people that just have no issues. Now here's Molly. She's squatting with bands right here, but I just want to see the mobility. It's fairly lightweight. So Molly's someone with a longer floor to knee distance or a longer tib, and she has medium-sized femur and a long torso. Okay, now watch her squat. Good. Now look at that. Easy for her to get into the bottom of the squat. No issues with mobility there. Body can stay upright and clean. So she's someone who can squat, naturally well and keep good technique and good form. Okay. Now let's move on.
Just like squats, deadlifts are the same. Your body type is going to determine how you pull. Some people pull with higher hips, some people pull with lower hips. It just depends on your body type. Molly loves to pull with higher hips, and I'm not going to lie. Molly can probably pull over 400 pounds off of the floor to above her knees, all right? She's that strong from the floor, which is the reason why she likes pulling the way she does. Another thing is she's continuing to PR and get stronger and stronger and stronger from this position. Now, no matter how strong Molly gets, her sticking point is always her lockout. Now, most coaches would tell her, or telling her, and her teammates telling her, you need more lockouts work, you need more overload lockouts, you need more heavy band work, just really working that lockout, yada, yada, yada. I completely disagree. I honestly believe that Molly's setup is what helps her be strong off of the floor, but I feel like that setup uses all her strengths a little too early. So by the time she needs to be in the position to lock out the weights, all her leverages are gone. And once her leverages are gone, she's going to be stuck at the top. And this forces her to not be able to use her strong points, her strong glutes and her strong hamstrings. So I honestly believe the one thing that will help Molly's lockout is working on her start position and deficit deadlifts. I feel like if Molly has a better start position, drop that ass down a little more, get a little bit more of an upright torso, she can use those big quads to her advantage to get the weight off the floor and then be in the proper position to lock the weight out no problem with their glutes and hams as soon as the weight gets above the knees. I honestly believe if we work that starting position and build up those deficit deadlifts, Molly will be able to pull 365 plus pounds and have no issues locking it out. So you see she is here. She's fighting me on this. Oh my gosh, I don't like this. It feels odd. And you know what? It is going to feel odd. But her ceiling when it comes to strength will come later if her starting position is better. You get what I'm saying? You can only pull so, I believe she can only pull so long with those higher hips. So we might have to take a few steps back to take a few steps forward, but I honestly believe this is the key. I might be wrong, but you know what? Only time will tell. But right now in my mind, I'm about 95% sure it's her starting position. So here she is there. Look at her there. Nice and strong position. Good. Pull. Boom. Nice and smooth. When that bar gets to the midpoint, I mean, she is in the perfect position to lock out any weight, just because she didn't hurt. Look at that. She can lock out anything from there at that position because all she got to do is shove those hips forward, lock out those knees. This is the key, guys. We got to train harder and smarter. A lot of times I don't really put educational videos out there because everybody's beliefs are so different. I just like letting the results tell. But I feel like this is an important part of our journey to the platform. All right, everybody. Team FS, one love. Never forget, strong is beautiful.